Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet again another edition of the S Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Every Friday 7 p.m. Sometimes we talk about humanitarian efforts, sometimes we talk about politics for that matter. You know, if you're in the mood to talk about politics. And sometimes we have a guest over, we talk about what's relevant to the society, what are we in the mood for. Now in today's day and age, if you talk about the social media, it's taken over. But what we feel is that it has a negative side and it has a positive side. You know what they say? They say that you can make a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. It's your perception in life, how you want to think about in life, what you feel life really can be. And today our guest over is somebody who I love and adore. I think she's lovely, she's beautiful inside out, a true model in the true sense as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warmly welcome Rehmat Ajmal. Assalamu alaikum, how are you, Rehmat?
Assalamu, I'm very well, thank you for such kind words.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Now she is not just a model, she's also an actor and she's also an activist and she's a wonderful artist, and I love her for the fact that she's very vocal about what she feels about. And if she's feeling strongly about something, she doesn't shy away from talking about it. So that's lovely.
That is something because that's something that you should do because someone has to.
Someone has to.
And
yes.
At times I'm not comfortable doing it, but then again I think about people who I can sort of help or inspire in any way.
Sure.
Then I get over myself and I get on my feet.
Okay, the getting over yourself part is a bit tough, but I'm glad that you're getting there.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is, how are you feeling and what are you thinking about?
So do you want small talk or do you want the truth?
And let's have a little bit of both.
To be honest, I can't complain about anything that's going on in my life. Mashallah, I'm at a place where I'm financially stable.
Mashallah,
I'm
that's
able
great.
to help and support my family,
Yeah.
which is the core reason of my existence, I'd say.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes one experiences things that they're not in one's control.
Right.
Having said that, for the past, I'd say, 6 years, I've also been in and out of a state of anxiety and depression.
Okay.
Both words that are trending these days, I'd say. But it's equally important to sort of understand the sensitivity and importance and existence of these words.
Oh, absolutely.
You know. So, having said that, I'm not going to talk about what it is because ideally a lot of people do that and we can find that sort of on Google and everywhere else.
And we just basically did a 2-episode series on their stories also. Yeah.
However, I'd like to talk about what happens once you're in that stage.
So not the causes. Now,
yeah.
we're not going to talk about what causes anxiety or depression, but once you're in the state, how can we manage it?
In my personal opinion and experience, once you're in a state of anxiety or depression, what causes it or what happened to trigger it, whatever, becomes insignificant, right? So then you sort of go in a state where you question everything and anything around you. You question your existence, you question your talent, you question people around you. You become insecure as a person and your confidence goes down the drain. At least in my case it did, you know. So, and when I say what I say, I feel everyone, people from the industry, people who are not from the industry, everyone is going through something or the other that they're struggling with. So why is it that we don't talk about it or express ourselves? I get that some people are introverts, they generally don't like to express themselves, but people who are expressing in the form of art, poetry, dance, songs, acting, whatever, why can't they be appreciated for those things? Why do we have to make life so hard and difficult for people that they choose to stop expressing themselves?
Exactly, because they fear backlash. They feel that if they say or act a certain way, maybe people are not going to like it or they won't accept them for who they are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, I was reading one of your posts on Instagram the other day and it really made a lot of sense. So you know how it said bullying is not limited to schools anymore. It is literally everywhere.
Right.
Everyone has a phone and they have the right
to demean others.
Say anything of any sort to anyone without realizing that someone's reading those comments. Those words are equally real
and hurtful.
They're hurtful, and they can take a toll on you.
Yes.
You know. So, thing is, when a public figure, let's say, exists on social media and in real life, they are interacting with 100 people.
Yeah.
but those 100 people are individually interacting with that one person.
Absolutely.
So all eyes are on that one person. So you need to understand that it's easier to be in your blanket, in your bed, look at a public figure who has the capacity and strength to be able to stand in front of those 100 people and make mistakes in front of those 100 people when they do not even have the option to be themselves.
Absolutely.
Be honest, be able to make mistakes, you know. So why give them such a hard time? And I speak for everyone when I'm saying this, because I personally have been through this.
Okay, well, that sounds great. And Rehmat, I'm glad that you talked about this as well. And there are so many other things that we need to think about. Like, for example, you know, if I'm randomly online and I see a celebrity, you know, putting up a picture and, you know, I feel, hey, you know what, I don't think she looks good. And I don't know, I don't like the way that she's talking or whatever, I feel negatively towards her. And I just randomly go on her page and I say, hey, you know what, I think you suck. Hey, you know what? I think you're disgusting. Hey, you know what? I don't like you. I hate the way you do this. I hate the way you do that. So this is something we really need to stress upon as well. Again, coming back to the first thing that I said about the social media being a place of negativity or positivity, we can control that. As a society, we do have a certain kind of responsibility. हर चीज़ government के ऊपर blame करने से, politics के ऊपर blame करने से नहीं होता. थोड़ी सी ownership हमें खुद भी लेनी चाहिए, जो बहुत important होती है. Now coming to the fashion industry. Your home. So people feel that it's so easy for the models, isn't it? They just have to look pretty, they have to walk on the ramp and people are, you know, looking up to them all the time. They have the jewelry and this accessories and all of that. How is life as a model?
Well, life as a model and life in general is what you make it to be, right? So, like, I strongly believe that every profession is extremely difficult, right? So every profession has its own challenges that you have to sort of face. But like I said, because if you are in the fashion industry, a lot of eyes are on you, you are under the limelight and you are being watched 24/7, and it becomes harder for you to always be composed and always be feeling right, looking right, behaving right or whatever, right.
Exactly, and I want to talk about this also, that you know, I feel the holier than thou sort of this epidemic in the society really needs to go. And you know, people feel that, okay, good girls are supposed to act in a certain way, and there's a kind of like an unfortunate, I hate saying this, but an unfortunate stigma attached to the media and the fashion industry. So how do you tackle that mindset?
Honestly, Sophia, in my opinion, all these labels and the meanings that we attach to certain things, let's say, for example, I say this is a cup. So I'm attaching the word cup to this object.
Right.
So when I say this person is dash or fill in the blank,
right,
I'm attaching a particular meaning to that person. And it is in my capacity to change the meaning of that word that you're attaching to that person. Obviously, because in our society we have accepted certain words to mean something. So good means this and bad means that. But at the same time, we're all in a conflict in our own selves, where right and wrong means differently to everyone, and we have our own meanings of that. So the idea essentially is to learn to coexist with the idea of maybe your wrong can be my right and vice versa, and to be able to be okay with that.
And absolutely, I think, you know, being humans, we always make mistakes, and you know, the thing is, we sin differently. So you might sin differently from the way that I sin, so I have no right to judge you, and that is something we really need to stress upon as well.
Definitely.
Coming back to life as a model, what is your routine like? How crazy is it?
Generally, few months are very difficult when I am working on projects, since I work as a freelancer.
Okay.
But when I'm not doing anything, I'm not doing anything. So that is something that comes with it. But when we are working and are on the set, it is extremely difficult. So I think we make up for all those free days on those days.
Absolutely.
It's really difficult sometimes, especially if you're not feeling okay from the inside. In my own personal experience, there have been days where I'd have to go in the changing tent and cry and exhale and, like, you know, collect myself and gather myself and come out.
So randomly or something usually triggers it when you're feeling that way?
It's not always random. Obviously, there are some times when you have something to think about, but then mostly when you develop a state where you are being used to be a certain way. No matter where you are, you start feeling that way. Sometimes it happens when you are with people, sometimes it happens when you're not with people, right? So when it does happen when you're with people, you have to be like a stick, you know.
Okay, so another thing that you have a very good family support system, and you have a really good set of friends, something that I'm aware of also, because I remember when I had you over on the show, a lot of your friends were like texting me that, hey, you know what, I have a surprise for her, so make sure you send me the link and all of that. I was like, talk about a good support system.
Definitely.
So tell me about them, the kind of relationship you share with them. How do they help in your life, professionally and personally?
To be honest, if I'm able to get up every day and go to work, is because of my support system, mashallah. The fact that I'm really close to my parents, I have great friends who all inspire me in one way or the other, and they motivate me to become the best version of myself, and that is the most important thing, you know. I mean, I feel if you have such people in your life, they give you the reason to be able to be.
They uplift
that
you
is
as well.
The only thing that you need to do as human beings. Be. You don't have to be good, you don't have to be bad, you don't have to be the best, you don't have to be famous, you don't have to be anything. You just have to be. Exist. That's your only role. And as you do play that role, try to be however you want to be.
But just be, and be yourself, which is very important.
So, but then again, if you have certain people who uplift you, sometimes a lot of people who want to bring you down also enter your life disguised as friends.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
To teach you lessons in life.
Bilkul. And those people are also very close to you. At times they are the most close to you. And sometimes their opinions, the fact that they think a certain way about certain things, you internalize those things, and then you start questioning your own nature, your own self, your own existence, and then you stop thinking about those 4 people who said nice things about you, or are true to you, or are wanting you to be who you are. You think about that one person.
Absolutely.
And then you crumble. And then you actually crumble. So it is important to identify those people, and as hard as it might be, it is important to exclude them, to walk away from them for the own peace of your heart and your mind. It is something that I'm still trying to do, but I know that I will be able to do it. Because sometimes we do not have any other option but to be strong. It is difficult, but you got to do it.
Absolutely. Well, somebody's got to do it, and I completely agree with you also. There are a few things we were discussing off air that I really want to talk about as well. Like for example, बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे कहते हैं, तो एक word है लोग use करते हैं, उसको तो अंग्रेजी से बोलने नहीं आती, वो तो पेंडू सी है. How do you deal with such people? Is language really the only thing that you can judge people on? उसको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती तो वो क्या करे?
So honestly, I feel that languages are like different genres of music, that some you might be able to understand, some you might not be able to understand, and just because you don't understand a certain genre of music, you not being able to speak a certain kind of language does not mean that your language or your music, your genre is not beautiful. However you may choose to express yourself, with or without a language, there are people who can't even speak. You cannot. I mean, do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. See, that's the point that we wanted to discuss, that why would you want to judge somebody for their language ability, or because they don't know how to express themselves freely. The thing is, we should stop judging anyone, period. That's it. End of story.
Yeah.
So, Rehmat, my next question to you is that a lot of people watching this video right now, I really look up to you as a model, because, you know, I love the way that you model, and I love your vibe, and I love the way that you sing. I absolutely love your personality. So, what would be the take-home message for them also when they want to sort of enter the field also? They're aspiring models, they want to feel that way and act that way as well.
So, you know, we mostly talk about a lot of negative things, and because we want to stress on the problems that we have to be able to fix them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we forget to talk about the positive things in life, right? So I really want to talk about a lot of people who did help me a lot to be able to become the best or the better version of who I am. There are a lot of great people in this industry who are actually every day looking to hire and work with people who are talented.
Right.
So do not think that this industry is something that is the most difficult to get in or whatsoever.
If you have the passion, if you're talented, you should
yeah,
go for it.
Just do that. I had no contacts when I initially started. I literally started by putting pictures on social media, and then there was a professor in my college who approached me then. So one thing led to another. Turns out God will pave the path for you. You just have to walk. If you don't walk, the path will also not be paved, right? So you have to do what you have to do, and then stay positive. I literally tried to change the idea of how people accept models to be, because they all have to fit in a mold, and they all have to look a certain way, they all have to be a certain way. I try to challenge that. So I know, because I am somewhat of an artist, so I do know that my face is not symmetrical. So when that shows in pictures, some people want to work with me, some people don't want to work with me. So do I start thinking about the people who don't want to work with me, or do I think about the people who do want to?
Yeah, sure.
So as far as my creative juices are being created, as far as my bills are being paid, I'm working with people who want to work with me.
And you enjoy it. You enjoy working with them. So it's a win-win situation.
Definitely.
Okay, great. Well, that's some good sound advice also. So one last question before we let you go. Now, we talked about a lot of things, from how the impact of the social media to how to enter the modeling industry and how to just be. You don't really have to be good, you have to be bad, you just have to be, and you have to be yourself. Now let's come to something else that I really want to talk about as well, which is basically your acting. And I do believe you're a fantastic actor, and ये एक अंदर बड़ी एक फनकार छुपा हुआ है, इसको बाहर निकालने की इनको ज़रूरत है. And you're a brilliant writer, and I love the fact that you write poetry. So let's hear something. Do you have something that you can share? Probably.
It's funny because I don't remember my own poetry. Okay. The same thing that I said when I came on your show that day.
मार के आना था ना, को दो लाइन तो बंदा सीख के आता है.
No, but whoever wants to read my poetry, I have my website which is on my Instagram. You can all go there and actually scroll.
Can you spell out Rehmat Ajmal for them?
So it's RehmatAjmal.
Right.
Okay?
There you go.
So I have my content on my website. I'd love your feedback. Do let me know what you think of it. As far as my acting is concerned, honestly, Sophia, I've never liked to define anything for myself. I don't know who I want to be. I don't, because I've fought so much with the idea of what I want to be. Now I don't want to define.
But honestly, when I saw you on screen while I was watching Jawani Phir Nahi Part 2, and suddenly Rehmat Ajmal came over, I said, what? Yeah, ये तो बड़ी ज़बरदस्त cameo है, and I really enjoyed watching you on screen. You have a really good on-screen presence.
Thank you.
And yes, it was a great sort of a cameo from your side.
If I do get a good project that I think that I can do, I will definitely take on that. But I also have some other things on the side and my plate. For example, I'm saving for masters right now, so I do have another year here.
Really? Masters in which subject?
So I'm not sure yet, but I'm trying to apply for scholarships. But so what happens sometimes is that they offer you a few courses that you need to choose from. So let's see. Hopefully I will be able to do it in textiles or fashion.
Oh, fantastic.
Because I did my bachelor's in textile as well, right? So I'll take it from there.
Okay.
But I do have a year here. Hopefully I will be able to get some acting on.
Yeah, I hope so too. For everybody who's watching this right now, all my friends who are filmmakers, please,
and also, you were wanting me to say something from my written collection. There's a line that I really like that I've written.
Let's hear it.
We're all born actors. Some of us, we're all born actors. Only some of us just get paid for it. Something like that. I don't remember.
That's so true. We are actually naturally born actors, but the acting stage just comes out when the time is right.
Yeah.
अम्मी अब्बू को थोड़ा सा जरा ट्रिक करना होता है हमने किसी बात के लिए, फिर अंदर की acting जा जाती है.
सब actors
है ना, सब अपने actors हैं. So thank you so much for being here, Rehmat, and it was an absolute pleasure. We talked about so many things that matter also, and usually whenever we have models over, we usually talk about what are the sort of trends in fashion these days, winter ki kya trends hai, summer ki kya trends hai, but I'm so glad we talked about issues that really matter. Now, before signing out, would you want to say something else that's on your mind for all the people who are watching this right now?
Just to conclude, I'd like to say that what I try to do when I'm feeling down, or when I feel like I don't have it in me anymore, when I feel like everything is falling apart, right when I'm about to hit my bed, and when I am in my bed and I'm, let's say, crying or whatever, what I do is, and it's something that no one knows about me, and I feel vulnerable sharing this with everyone, but I feel like I need to, because it's very important.
Thank you for sharing it.
So what I do is, it's really stupid, but it's something that helps me. So I roll over on one side and I hold my hand like this, okay?
Aww.
So it psychologically gives me the feeling of not someone else holding my hand, but giving me the feeling that I am holding my own hand. So I am there for me,
and it's all good.
And that's all I need.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a practice that I do on a daily basis.
So you are your own hero.
Bilkul.
Right? This is lovely, Rehmat. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure it's a tip for everybody watching this right now as well. That's a very good idea. I think I'm going to give myself a hug tonight in bed also, right? Okay, so well, before we let you go, how about आप कुछ ज़रा शेर व शायरी तो कर दें अपनी हसीन collection?
So you guys, it's something that I wrote, which is not on my website yet, but yeah.
Let's hear it.
Woman's body is not her only asset. She should not be criticized for the way she's acting, or be told that she's looking wrong by all the masses, saying you're pale as a ghost, your skin is too dark, you have a wrinkle on your face, stop smiling, start smiling, why don't you smile? It looks good on a woman. We dress ourselves not for attention. We don't dress to impress, but to leave impressions. They can't see past your skin, they're praying, please don't have a brain. Just cook meals for me, look pretty, make me happy, never change. Maybe one day we can all change, because everybody is somebody in some way.
Wow, bravo. That was lovely, Rehmat. That was lovely. And I think it touched upon a lot of points also. It was very relevant to today's day and age. Thank you so much once again. And we're looking forward to have you over again. All right? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this edition of the S Stories right here on Sophiya Anjam's official YouTube channel. We had Rehmat Ajmal over, and she basically made me ponder over a lot of things, how we misuse the role of the social media from being positive to negative. It's all in our hands, isn't it? As I mentioned earlier, it's up to you to make a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven. And last but not the least, be original, because that is the best version of yourself you will ever be. Take care. Bye-bye.